Hello, all my beautiful crafters. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to show you something today. I know I usually do paper crafts, but I wanted to show you something that can go along with your paper crafts. I really want to expand this channel into more than just paper crafts, so hang tight. But I wanted to show you these glue bottle stoppers that I make. I've been making these for a while. I saw them a couple years ago. Somebody had one at one of the crops that I was at, and then I was at a stamp show last year, and they had really cool ones. But I think it picked up some steam lately. My friend Christine is sending me screenshots of people on Facebook selling them in the craft groups and things. So I wanted to show you how to make them if you want to make them, because we are crafters, right? So a lot of times we want to make things ourselves. So it's really easy to do. If you buy the beads to make one, you'll be able to make quite a few out of that strand of beads. So let's get started with what you need. And I absolutely love these things. You're gonna love them too. A couple different ways that you can make them also. So let's get started with what you're gonna need. You're gonna need some chain, and I just got I got all the hardware supplies at Hobby Lobby. Probably you can get them at Michael's and things too. A piece of hair in there, probably mine, maybe the dog's. But anyhow, so just get some chain, just enough with holes in it so that you can loop things into it. I'll show you how to do that. Some jump rings. These can be smaller. I wouldn't really go any larger than these, just because it's going to be big and bulky looking on the glue bottle. It's not going to do anything to the integrity of it. It's just going to look funny. So I wouldn't go any bigger. You can definitely go smaller. And then some beads. So today I'm going to use some red ones and some green ones because I want to make a watermelon glue stopper. I have a whole bunch of different beads that are different shapes and designs and characters and animals and all kinds of stuff. So I went through my drawer and I decided we're gonna go watermelons today. So I got some red beads and some green beads, and we will work with those, and that's gonna be our focus bead. Then we're gonna need some eye pins, and these are gonna be to attach those beads onto the chain. And then we're going to need a pin. Now, here's the tricky part. This pin needs to be stainless steel. If it's not stainless steel, what's going to happen is you're going to put it in your glue and it's going to rust. When it rusts, it's going to discolor that portion of your glue. I have had it happen. I've heard people say that they even have problems with the stainless steel. Knock on wood, I have not. But what happens is it's going to change the color of the glue right here. You're not going to wake up one day and your entire bottle of glue is going to be orange. If you can't find stainless steel, if that doesn't bother you, and you just want to squeeze this out each time you go to use your glue, that's fine. But I don't believe that it does anything to the integrity of the glue, like that it's not going to stick anymore. But if you can find stainless steel, definitely go for it. I bought mine on Amazon. They are a little pricey, but you get a lot of them. You're not going to, well, maybe you are. I hope you do, make 100 or 200 of them. So it's a purchase. I want to say maybe they were like $10 for a bunch of them. If you do other things like quilting and things, you can use them for quilting also, but that is my recommendation, is that you use stainless steel. Now the other thing is that you can use eye pins. So if you find eye pins that are stainless steel, you can use an eye pin instead of using the sharp, an eye pin instead of using a sharp, because this is sharp on the end. The issue that I have with these, I have a bunch that I made out of these, is that there are some glue bottles that they don't fit in. They're just a tiny bit wider than the pins. So I had a hard time getting them in a couple of my glue bottles. So I decided not to use them anymore and just use the pins, because I do sell these in a store that I sell to here in the Tampa area, and I didn't want anybody to buy one and then not be able to get it in their glue bottle at home. I did cut my glue bottle down a tiny bit more, so this one does go in very easily, but just keep that in mind. You can use the eye pins if they're more accessible for you. If you do use one of these pins, the sharp pins, I would put an earring stopper on the bottom if you're going to sell them. Because if people pick them up, you don't want them to get poked. So this is the way that I sell mine. I put the little stopper on the bottom just so that people don't get poked. And you can buy these just by themselves, like in a package. It's a silicone earring back, and that'll just help that. Now the other part of the earring is going to be an earring back. This part does not need to be stainless steel. Only this part does. Only the pin does. So I like to use an earring back, and you can buy just the backs too. Hobby Lobby might have them. I'm not sure where I got these, but wherever you get your jewelry supplies, you could buy just backs. Sometimes you have to buy the back with a post, and then you could just use your post for something else if you wanted to. I mean, really, you could even use the post as a stopper, and if you do clay or something like that, put a little cupcake on the top or glue a little cupcake or something. But these backs were on post, but you can buy them individually. So you're going to put the earring back on this pin and make sure that it's straight on there, because the object is that you need to be able to hook it to something, right? That's where your chains are going to attach to. So you're going to put your back on there, and then what you're going to do is you're going to put your jump ring onto here. We're going to do that last because it's just easier to work right now with the jump ring off. So let me show you the tools real quick too that we're going to use. If you don't have jewelry tools and you're like, I am not spending $50 on jewelry tools to make something that I can just buy for $8, well, then you may not be a true crafter, because we all know that we spent $100 worth of supplies for something that we could have bought for $10. But if that's not you, I admire you and your self-control. You can get a pair of these. I highly recommend. They are a 3-in-1 tool. You can get them from Hobby Lobby. I think they're probably $11, maybe $12 at the most. They have a cutter in them, which is this area right here. They have, I'm not good with all the jewelry terms, but this area here, this flat part, you can use to flatten things and tighten things. And then up here, you can use to round things off, which we will be using today. So if you want to just get one tool, that's perfect. If you want to have separate tools, these are just the top of those. These are nice and flat, and so are these. That's the center point, and yeah, that middle point there. And these just twist and turn a little bit nicer than that does. So I don't know if I'll use those. We will see. But I probably will use the one at least. Okay, so what we're gonna do is let's string our beads and see the way that we're gonna put them on here. So I like to usually do about 4 different ones, and just put your beads on however you want them. This is always the fun part if you're not an overthinker. If you're an overthinker, this is the time for you to sit now, put all your colors out, overthink, because that's what you're good at doing. Take them off, put them back on again, take them off again, put them back on. Ask yourself if you're doing this right. I know that's what you overthinkers are doing. I know this because I've been around you overthinkers for a long time, and I may have been an overthinker at one point, but I ran out of time. I don't have enough time now in life because I have too many projects that I want to get done. So I don't have enough time to think. What I do is I just put things together now, and I will tell you that I enjoy that very much. All right, now for my watermelon, I'm gonna put a little bit below, and I'll put my watermelon here. And if I had a smaller green bead, I would probably put him up top, but I don't have a smaller one, so I'm gonna use what I have. This is my year of using what I have. It hasn't been growing great. I mean, it has, but I've also bought new stuff too. Next year's the year. I don't like that one either. I'm sure you guys were like, no, that doesn't look good. Okay, we're gonna, for the sake of time, we're just gonna keep that one like that. Now, what you wanna do is you want to make a loop on all of these. If they're really long, you wanna cut them down a little bit, because what your goal is to make a loop that's going to attach to the chain. So you want to just take your, why is the name drawing a blank on me? But you want to take your round nose pliers. That would make sense, Danielle. Okay, and you're just going to turn. See how I just made that loop? So you're just going to turn and then close that up. And then that's what this flat part comes in handy for, because you give it a little pinch. And then I like to give it a little pinch that way too. And then just straighten it out. Okay, so 1 down, 3 to go. And if you don't cut them down, that's fine. You'll either just have some metal exposed, or your loop's going to be a little bit bigger depending on where you grab. If you grab here and make a loop, it's going to be a smaller loop. If you grab on the fat end, it's going to be a fatter loop. So totally up to you. I would not do a small one. You're going to have a hard time getting that chain in there. If you have all your supplies, you have a box of beads sitting next to you and you sit down to do this, oh man, you can knock out. I could probably sit here for an hour and make 20 of these. They go so fast after you do your first couple, just especially if you're not used to the tools. So I don't want to say that and then your first one takes you an hour and you're like, oh, I'm not good at this. You have to get used to your tools. They're like holding a pencil. You got to get comfortable with them. Once you're comfortable with your tools and how they work, then it's just going to fly by. Okay, so what I want to do now is I just want to measure a little bit of chain. So I'll put a little bit there, and I like them to have a little bit of varying length. So I don't want it to, be all the way down here. So that's why I hold it next to my glue bottle where I'm going to put it. And I will just give that a little cut. I'm probably going to be mad at myself for not bringing my other cutters over here, because I don't particularly like those cutters just because I have to shove them down inside of those other areas. I like the cutter being right close on the edge, but these are being fine. So I like to stagger the length a little bit. Again, you overthinkers, don't overthink it, just clip. Give one 2 chains shorter, the next one 3 chains longer, and just have them a little bit of variety in how they're going to hang. It looks nicer when they hang, I think, than if they all hung down together, because then everything's going to be matching up down at the bottom, and that's where it will look a little funny. All right. Okay. I should do another one and not talk and just see how long it takes me to do so you guys can see that, but I don't have all the supplies here to do another one. So if you catch a second one with your clippers like I did, just make sure that you cut that off. You don't want it to be attached. I just caught a little section of it, so it is compromised, so I don't want that to be on my chain. So just make sure that you cut that off. All right, now you can do this one of 2 ways to attach. You can either cut one of these, or if your chain comes apart, you can loosen your chain, or you can just loosen your eyes that you just made. I'll just loosen these a little bit. I know I just closed them, but I like to close them just to make sure that the sizing matches and everything. So you put your chain on there, okay? And then what you're going to do is this is where I like using these instead. You're just going to come in and give it a little squeeze and close it again. If you are using these, you just would do it in the flat part, give them a little squeeze. Okay, so there's one. Whoop. And make sure they don't go flying. Open that up. Hook it in. Close it up. Try not to make everything go flying. See, I just flung my other one over here. And we're going to do that 2 more times. And then we will attach and we will be done. And you will be on your merry way to go get some chains and jump rings and beads and all kinds of things. And you're going to be making glue stoppers for yourself and for your friends and for your crafting buddies and for maybe for your craft shows. And the going price, I charge $8 for these in the shop where I sell them. They're not a big seller by any means, but this is definitely a targeted audience. You know, if you're doing a craft show in the fall and people are looking for handmade items, they're not going to be looking for glue stoppers unless they're a crafter themselves. And a lot of times, you know, a crafter will say, I can make that. Sometimes crafters don't like to go out of their comfort zone, and that's fine. And that's your target audience right there, is a crafter, a paper crafter especially, who does not want to go outside of their comfort zone but would love a glue stopper. And they really do work. I mean, they help so much. So your jump ring, you're just going to twist. You never want to pull them away this way. That does do something to their strength. So you want to make sure that you are just pulling them, twisting them front to back and not pulling away from each other. So I'm just going to string these on here a little bit, and I am going to put this one over here on this side. Make sure we like it. Do we like it? Do we like it? Ooh. Well, you know what? I think you guys wanted to see that again. So that's why I close all my loops. You know, I know when I was just showing you, you guys were probably like, why did you close your loops? Just to open them again. Well, my friends, that's exactly why I close all my loops. Because as soon as I let go, it's gonna fall off. It's just my Murphy's Law. Okay, and the reason why I didn't close it is because we still have to hook it. So just to show you, that's the way that we're going to be. That's the way we're gonna lay. So now we're just going to take our jump ring, put it in one of the holes of that earring back, and we're gonna twist this shut. Make sure that it is completely closed and nice and lined up there. And if you need to, you can give it a little squeeze, but do it really in the center. Don't do it up here. You're gonna close it into like an oval shape. So really do it, you're gonna have to open up your pliers really wide and do it across the center. But there we go. That is another glue stopper, a watermelon one. And if you are interested in purchasing one, if you're one of those crafters I was talking about that you're like, I really want one, but I don't want to make one, you can check out my Etsy shop. My Etsy shop is called Danielle's Craft Diary. I will be loading some in there this afternoon, so you can check that out. Again, they are $8. I offer, well, they're $8 right now as of this video being filmed. Who knows what's going to happen with the price of supplies and everything when I go to replenish, but I do offer free shipping after $35 for US. So go ahead and check that out if you want. Otherwise, let me know if you make them and if you love them, and if you like this video. Let me know what else you'd like to see. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.